Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, before we even get into this whole thing, big shout out to Ticket King. Make sure if you're planning on buying tickets and whatnot, you head over buy the tickets over at Ticket King. Lowest ticket prices, Wisconsin based. So here we go. I just finished recording the podcast. Of course, the last 20 minutes ended with, boy, I sure hope it gets done either tonight or tomorrow, if not by Monday. I did that whole spiel again, and here we are with this. Stay tuned, by the way, until the end. We've got the official. That's part of what took us so long. I had to upload the Jordan Love hype song. I really love this song. I've been dying to release it for him to sign this stupid contract. But here we go. Jordan Love agreed to a 4-year extension with the Packers, making him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, tied for. His $75 million signing bonus is the largest ever given to an NFL player. $160.3 million of the $220 million contract is guaranteed. Actually, I don't think that's the number that I was looking at. I may have done that wrong. What did I put in here? 155 guaranteed, you bunch of jerk liars. We'll have to go back and look at that. That's fine. I got some stuff set up. By the way, get in the comments section. Let me know exactly how you're feeling. John B. says, finally, what a relief, man. So essentially what I said on the podcast for tomorrow that you almost don't even have to listen to. You do, because we recap everything. But the third segment is freaking useless and wasted now. But what I essentially said was, like, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to be optimistic this thing is going to get done. It's going to get done soon. But if it doesn't get done by Monday, I'm going to start to panic. Relief doesn't begin to explain it. By the way, defense has been feeling themselves. What a cool, like, backdrop scenario, right? Defense has been tearing everybody up. They've been getting all cocky and everything. And tomorrow, what are we doing? Throwing on the pads, and out comes Jordan Love. Now you're all in big, big trouble. By the way, Rashawn Gary, please don't step on Jordan Love's ankle like you did Clifford today. That'd be great if you could just not do that. Carson, hang out, man. We got our video dropping. I'm super excited about it. Carson Caldwell over at the Caldwell Corner. Make sure you go check them out and follow. He's been helping me out with the video side of these things. We're having a lot of fun. We got to do another video. We've just been sitting on so many of them. I was like, well, we got a backlog. We can wait. Now I got to get back to work here. Anyways, the structure also makes a lot of sense. Talked a little bit about David Mulugeta. He's real big on wanting a lot of guarantees. He wants the guarantees for his guys. And the Packers, they like to do signing bonuses, right? So it was like this, how are they going to work it out? Because you can't just smash it all into a signing bonus. Fortunately, they didn't get anywhere near 100% guaranteed. It was actually pretty close to what the Packers generally do. They do about 50%. 155 would have been better if that was actually correct. But about 50% of it is guaranteed, and then you have a massive signing bonus. So we front load the contract. So basically, because if you look at the contract, remember, the extension doesn't even start until next year. And so we're going to smash, in terms of actual cash, $75 million. This is fake. This is estimated, but let's just say his base salary is 10.5. So we got $75 million. He's going to get paid another 10.5. So we're looking at $90 million of those guarantees eaten up before we even start 2025. So more than 50% of his guarantees are gone. They like to do that, obviously, because they want outs. If this doesn't pan out, and we got to figure out the rest of this structure and how this is all going to be laid out. But the bottom line is, I mean, there's probably going to be like a really painful exit if need be by 2026. And by 2027, if they want to get out of it, they absolutely can. Obviously, that's not where anybody's at. Everybody is looking at this saying, this is our guy. We got a long-term situation here. But stuff happens. Injuries happen. Fluky things happen. And as we've all talked about 1,000 times now, we only really saw top-tier Jordan Love for 75% of a season, right? We had decent Jordan with some serious issues mixed in, and then holy crap, this is peak Aaron Rodgers Jordan Love down the stretch. But this is structured very similarly to what you see everywhere else. And I have to assume they tried to get him more guarantees and it didn't really pan out, so the Packers could, with a really big signing bonus, the largest in NFL history, as long as they were willing to do that, they could still structure it the way that they like, get the overall guarantees down a little bit so that the signing bonus still works out. But it just, everything kind of makes sense, and I think that this works. And we've already heard he's going to be the highest paid quarterback, so sort of the minimum was going to be $55 million a year. He got exactly 55, so like we've been saying, it's going to be between 55 and, just below, 59-ish or whatever, just below 60. Because the other report that came out is Dak Prescott is going to be the new highest, and he's going to crack 60. It'll be interesting to see if he actually does. I was the other thing I was talking about on the podcast today, I was a little surprised how low the Tua contract was. Only getting, 53? He's only getting about 53 a year. I know the concussions and the injuries and stuff have been a little bit of a concern, but I was a little surprised it was as low as it was. So Turtle's in the house. We got to get some Jeopardy going. So Turtles, I've been failing you, and I apologize. We got to get Jeopardy going. He says my king will be in pads tomorrow. Man, I can't wait till tomorrow. One more sleep, guys. This is gonna be like Christmas. Trying to sleep. We're just gonna be sitting there like staring at the ceiling. I'm gonna have to take some sleeping medicine or what. I'm gonna be slamming cough syrup so I can fall asleep. Man, I'm going to be so excited for those updates coming tomorrow. I really was starting to get jumpy. And by the way, big shout out. I don't know if you guys know Mr. Pretty Ricky or not. I was just recently made aware of him. He came out and what did he say here? He says, today, not to be cheesy or flippant, but it's going to be a great Friday. So he's alluding to the fact that the contract is done and it's going to be taken care of today, right? Then the Tua thing gets done. And what did he say? It was something, because I went back and checked and I was like, I don't know, dude, you so sure about that? The day is kind of coming to a close. And he says, today's been flippant and I'll wait to be cheesy. And then he says here, Packers fans, RELAX, if they're waiting to announce, it's because they want Tua to have his moment. There is a new highest paid quarterback. In other words, he's saying it's already done. Ricky guarantees it and puts his reputation on the line. I'm a shareholder too. So it's like, dude, we're this was 5 hours ago, so we're talking 3 p.m. You talk about putting your reputation on the line. We're coming to a close, and he's like, it's done. It's already done. And then it gets dropped, and look at this. So Pretty Ricky, I don't know who you are, sir, but I do believe you have the sources. I'm late to the party here. Only got 31,000 followers. Obviously, a lot of people are already aware, but make sure you're following Pretty Ricky. Unfortunately, this little feature here does nothing anymore, so I don't know what the point of that is. But he was all over it. He called it, and I started getting real optimistic that this thing was about to happen. I was believing in Pretty Ricky. And sure enough, here we go. I can't get the picture out of my head of him just rolling out in pads tomorrow. That's going to be fantastic. Alex says, thoughts on high average but low guaranteed. I think it's lower than Tua. That was the other thing I was looking at because I was kind of playing with some of these. So here's sort of the practical guarantees. You can see Jordan here. It says 155, but that's not correct. What is it? They said it's 160.3. Is guaranteed. I don't know if that was just kind of like filler that they put that in or if there's some kind of confusion or what. But so he's just below Tua. It's also below Jared Goff. Jared Goff had a surprisingly higher contract. You look at it and go, oh, it's only 53. His guarantees are actually a little bit higher. Then you got Trevor, another one where he's only at 55, but he's got 200 million guaranteed. So I do think if you really look at it, Jordan Love's contract looks to be the biggest, but I'm going to have to redo these a little bit. Fortunately, I still have this. I have my contract calculator that I came up with. So I've got, here's what I had before when it was 155. Jordan was actually the next lowest. Trevor was actually the lowest because it was over 5 years. But if we change this real quick, so I keep forgetting. His guarantees are 160.3. So if we do 160.3 over 4 years in 2024, it's 13.99. It doesn't really change anything. He still stays right here. So yeah, according to the way that I view these contracts, and essentially what that little thing is that I built is effective percentage of the cap. How much of the cap over the course of time, given the salary cap increases. You're looking at Jordan Love sitting at about 14% of the cap, just using his guarantees, because, who knows? That kind of becomes a complicated thing, too, is how much of that is he actually going to earn above and beyond the guarantees. But Yeah, I would say it's not a very hefty contract, and it makes sense because the entire point of what we've been talking about is we're not sure. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know for sure how good he is. So you give him the whole contract. You give him the whole thing. You get your $55 million a year. But what's the one thing we have to do? The one thing we have to do is we have to lower the guarantees. Well, Mulugheta, Jordan Love, those guys, they're not going to like that very much. So what else can we do? Well, what the Packers love doing anyways. We like front-loaded the contracts. So it's a question of we can give you a massive amount of cash up front. So you're set. $75 million is what they settled on. But the bottom line is like it's front-loaded, so you're going to receive a lot of this money. The other benefit of that happening is when you front-load the money from Jordan Love's perspective, you start cashing in on above the guaranteed money sooner, right? So by, year 3, you're already coming in, starting to cash in on that. So at the end of the day, hopefully none of this actually matters because we're hoping over 4 years he's going to collect all of it. And after that, he's going to get another massive contract. That's what we're all hoping for. But at the end of the day, there is some uncertainty. And so rather than getting this new trendy, almost all the money guaranteed stuff for quarterbacks, it was a little over 50%. Which I have to assume was somewhat common in the past. I'd have to look at some of Rodgers' stuff. This is just off the top. I haven't really dug too much into this. I tried to throw a couple things together so we can get rocking here. But again, it just, the more you think about it, the more you look at it, it all kind of makes sense. They didn't want to go below 55 because they want that number, right? It's all about, I got to get, I'm David frickin' Mulugheta. I get highest contract. Okay, so 55's done. Packers want front loaded. Okay, we got to get a big signing, so it's just working all that out. But when you check all the boxes, everything makes sense. Mulugheta got his relatively high guarantees. Mulugheta got the highest contract. Packers got the big signing bonus. Jordan Love set up. Good to go. Suddenly, Goot isn't the bad guy anymore, and everyone lost their minds for nothing. Well, I'm curious to see what people are going to say. Obviously, everybody seems happy. I'm still waiting for people to come out and say, that's ridiculous. That's too much money for this guy. Whatever, man. Like I said, I've said it before on the podcast. If he sucks, the last thing we're going to worry about is the freaking money. We're done. It's over. Our lives suck, whether we have $1 billion in cap space or $0 in cap space. If Jordan's a bad quarterback, we suck. Hopefully he doesn't poop the bed this year. That's for sure. Too old for this says, I figured they were waiting until the Tua deal got done. Yeah, and it sounds like it was done already. But, they wanted to kind of give Tua his time and then kind of drop their deal. Yes, we need more Jeopardy games. I know, I've been slacking. Blaine in the house. Let's go. I wonder if they're going to play Jordan in preseason to make up for the lost time, or maybe he was going to play anyway. I don't know. I would assume, I shouldn't even assume anything anymore because it seems like every year it's less and less. I generally assume you get one game. And by one game, I mean like a half. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, especially if Jordan's coming out and just tearing everything up, maybe they just won't even let him do it. I don't know. Packers backed themselves into a corner on this. They had no choice but to pay him based on 8 games. I think they way overpaid based on the small set of... So there you go. There's Jim kind of coming in on that. You kind of said it right when you said they backed themselves into a corner, except they didn't really back themselves. They just happened to be in a corner. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, they did actually have an option. They could just say, no, we're not paying him. You could just say, we're not paying you, and you're going to have to ride out this year. And you say, well, Jordan could sit out. No, he can't. Because then I forget the freaking term, but the contract essentially carries over. You did not fulfill your duties on the contract, and so we could just replay this. So he doesn't get to just burn out the contract and become a free agent. No, if you sit out the year, it rolls over. So you will play. They could have strong-armed him, and you could say maybe they would never have actually done that because then they would lose favor with the locker room or whatever. I don't really know, but if they really wanted to push the issue, they could have said that. We need to see a little more. If things go well, we'll give you a contract by mid-season or something. I believe the Packers believe that Jordan's the guy. I believe that. And they could be wrong. We all could be wrong, but I think that that's the case, and I think it's less to do with, well, we don't have any options, I guess we got to freaking pay him, and more to do with, I'm a little nervous, and again, that's why you get a little bit lower guarantees, but we think he's the guy. The deal was done within a few weeks of yesterday. There you go. Good call. Blaine's still A-0 in the house. We come out 2-5 this season, and Goody will be drafting Love's replacement. No, that's not going to happen. That's not at 2-5. I mean, if the whole season goes poor, I mean, and we're still not drafting his replacement. This is your pick. This is what you're doing. You ride it out, and you see if Pratt can kind of become something. But no, that's not going to happen. And by the way, Jim, we don't need to go there today. Let's wait until we're 2-5, and then we can start having these conversations. Today, we just signed the next Brett Favre, the next Aaron Rodgers. By the way, Jordan Love played better than Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers in his first year. He played like peak Aaron Rodgers once Week 9 rolled around. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way, but I feel like today is a day of celebration, and tomorrow will be as well. I had a terrible thought, and I'm not going to say it out loud, and I don't know why these things happen. Imagine if someone told you Week 6 last year that Love would get there. I know, we'd all be dying. We'd be dying. Already with the negativity, sheesh, be happy. Haters already saying we overpaid. Well, listen, I expect Bears fans to say we overpaid, but that's fine, because Jordan's just going to have to show them that that's not the case. And by the way, these guys can worry about their own freaking guys. I mean, if anybody overpaid, you paid Jared Goff what you paid Jared, which might even be more than, like I said, this contract, and it's Jared Goff, who's fine, but he's not going to be MVP. He's not going to be a number one quarterback. He'll be top 10, but he just lives in that top 10. And Vikings fans don't have a quarterback. I don't even know if the Bears do, so I don't know who would be talking or why, but I guess you got to talk about something. No complaining about not signing free agents. Okay. To gamble, hoping it pans out. Wish it was a 5-year deal. Yeah, I'm sure that was part of the conversation. I think it kind of works out because, again, you got to figure by 2026. I mean, this really is, when you really look at it, it's such a short, compressed thing. Right in here, the money for Jordan, the cash is going to start to dry up. Although the base salary is probably still going to be relatively large, if I had to guess. But still, those are kind of drying up. His per year is going to be starting to look a little bit down. I'm sure with $15 million signing bonus and his base salary starting to skyrocket, the Packers are going to want to relieve that. We might be looking at 2026. They're looking to extend him anyways. I mean, I'm dead serious. By 2026, the Packers might be looking to give him a new contract. And again, that's like a lot of these contracts, like we gave Josh Jacobs, a lot of these are kind of prove it. It seems weird to say a 4-year extension is a prove it deal, but in a way, it might somewhat be kind of a prove it deal, right? Because again, the $155 million guarantee, the guarantees are going to be largely dried up by 2026. The cap hit's going to be starting to get out of control. If Jordan can prove himself in 2024 and 2025, by 2026, why not? Certainly by the end of 2026 in that 2027 offseason, 100%, you're getting the deal done. So I wouldn't be surprised if in 2026 they're already talking about getting him a new contract. It's a lot of money to pay in 8 games of data. Yes, I understand. I just hope the franchise tag stayed in place and wasn't negotiated out. Cowboys are screwed because of Dak not franchise tag eligible. The Dak thing is really weird, only because every time you look at it, it looks like they hate Dak, and maybe it's just because they lose in the playoffs and throw hissy fits, but the amount of quotes that have come out, and it seems like every year they're trying to decide whether they're going to get rid of him, and then they just keep giving him these massive contracts. It's like, I don't know, man. I mean, he had a fantastic year last year, so obviously you're not moving on. Me see daddy. Hey, Brinley, how you doing? Brendax, best Packer pod. Thank you. Appreciate that. $1.99 super chat. We're partying. We're having a good time. I appreciate that. I'll be sure to buy Brinley a $1.99 piece of candy for that. They had to pay him. Time will tell. I'm scared about how optimistic. I'm 100%. I hate being this cocky. I try to be level-headed, but I'm so excited. I'm so, like, the defense is looking so good in training camp, and Jordan looked so good prior to training camp, and, like, it just, everything feels like it's coming into place. I'm trying to rein it in. I can't, man. I'm struggling to rein it in. I'm doing exactly what I always caution Bears fans not to do. They get so cocky in the offseason. I'm like, go ahead, dude. Go ahead and get hyped about freaking training camp, you dork. And then when you suck, I'm going to make fun of you so hard and it's going to hurt. And now I'm that guy. Oh, every pass Jordan throws that's like just complete. It doesn't even have to be a great pass. It's complete. I want to be sharing it all over social media. This is why you pay the man $55 a year. Right there, baby. All the pieces in place. Let's roll. It really is, man. It feels good. I feel this will be a fun season. Last year was one of the most fun seasons I've had as a Packer fan. It was a good time. Who's next to get a contract? Who is next to get a contract? You got Zach Tom at some point's going to want one. Jairi already got paid. Is it Tom? Or Elton already got paid. I think it's Zach Tom. I think he's going to be the next one. I could be wrong about that. Coworker is saying Deshaun Watson is better. Is better at what? I can't even say what Deshaun Watson's better at because my show will get demonetized and canceled. But I'm going to say if we're talking football, that's not the case. Deshaun Watson was a very good quarterback when he came out, but I have a feeling what happened is he got all that money, and when he goes out on the field, people only talk about one thing. I think he hates football. I think he wants out of it. He's whining and complaining, pretending to have these injuries so that he doesn't have to go on a football field. He has no interest in playing. He's collecting a massive paycheck from the dumbest franchise in history that actually gave him that fully guaranteed monstrosity. All right. Maybe they held out because he had a small injury and they wanted him to rest. It's a setup to hide the truth. I love a good conspiracy theory, but now is not the time, Matthew. I don't want to hear that kind of talk. Scary how bad Clifford has looked. We really need a competent backup that at least allows us to be competitive if Love goes down. That's what Pratt's for, man. I'm telling you, Jim. Clifford has been pretty rough. I liked Clifford a little bit when we had him. Got a little Brett Favre gunslinger in him, but he was always kind of raw. Pratt, though, I wish they would just let him take number one. Well, they obviously won't anymore with Jordan coming back, but I wish they would have given him that opportunity because Clifford got snaps with the ones every single time. It was a disaster every single time. Pratt seemed to look good, but it was with the twos. Just wish they would have given him an opportunity, you know what I mean? Team is going to rally around this. That's the other thing. I think they're all going to really be jacked for Jordan. And I'm already seeing it on social media. I came on here pretty quick, but I saw A.J. Dillon. I saw this first, I think, from Kenny. I was literally just about to go. I almost missed all of this. I was about to go upstairs and watch America's Got Talent with my family. They've been telling me to hurry up with the podcast. There's a new episode. We got to go watch it. And I'm just uploading the podcast. I look and I see Kenny doing something. I'm like, that's fake. My first thought was it was a fake account. I'm checking it. It's got a bunch of followers. It was NFL with a little gold star next to it. I'm like, this is fake. This isn't real. What the heck are we talking about? The team is going to rally. Oh, yeah. I just see Michael dating Pam's mom. And I'm like, what are we doing? Let me read the rest of this. They all love 10. The defense will step up, and a team that already played for each other will be like Michael dating Pam's mom and play for him even more. Always well said. But yeah, again, you're already seeing it. I'm sure there's plenty more. I saw Kenny. I saw Dylan. So far, I think they're all jacked up, man. They've got a certified leader in the building. We've heard them talk about this before. It kind of lends to the credibility. Not that they didn't already follow him and everything, but you get this big boy contract, and the boys rally. Big signing bonus looks to be front-loaded. Correct. Will be interesting what the 2024 cap looks after him. Him and Kenny both. So I don't think 2024 will be terrible. I was reading Tom Silverstein's article. I don't know. I must have got rid of it. It said we had $29 million in cap space. He was already on the books for 22, I think, something like that. So you figure, I think it's $15 million per year on the signing bonus, and then whatever his base salary and workout bonus and all that stuff's going to be. It's going to be a little bit of an increase, but I think it's going to be more than fine. In fact, in the article, I think he was even talking about a lot of that money they're going to allow to roll over to kind of help with some of the bigger years down the stretch. We'll see how it goes. John says, I feel sorry for the defense tomorrow. I did mention it might take a little while, man. This defense has been rolling real hard. Jordan hasn't been out there with the team, hasn't been practicing, so it might not be like just boom, instant, but I kind of hope it is. As much as I'm enjoying the defense doing this, if they're going to be firing like that and then tomorrow they get the pads on, and Matt LaFleur even mentioned, that's when we really get the scheme. When the pads aren't on, we're not really laying into our scheme very much, but with the pads on, we're going to be running the playbook and everything. Man, I'd be so excited if he came out and just shredded the defense. As sad as it would make me about the defense, I think we need that right now. We need that. Trying to be cautiously optimistic. Also, the 10-year dynasty starts today. Oh, another 10, baby. Another 15. Screw 10. 15, 15, 15. That's what we're doing. Oh. We are the luckiest fan base to ever... I mean, who has had... We've already had 30. 30. Since I was 4 years old, basically. We've had Brett Favre, and then Aaron, and now Jordan. Again, getting a little ahead of ourselves, but I can't help it, dude. This is crazy. Drew D says, go, Pack, go. Zach with a delayed message there. Thomas, I don't get hype about defense anymore. Barry destroyed my spirit. I understand that. That's fair. We need Jordan to win. That's the bottom line. Thank goodness they restructured Royce Newman, or else this deal would have never been done. Eric Stokes could get a contract if he has... That's a good point. Eric Stokes is in line. He's got to have a big year, though. Sign Ryan Tannehill for backup and keep Pratt to develop. It's an option. I've seen several people do it. I don't know if they're going to give up on Clifford quite that easy. I suppose they could, kick him down to the practice squad. I doubt anyone's going to try to steal him. It's an option. I understand the heartburn. I feel like Packer fans, since forever, have been advocating for that veteran that potentially could win you some games. Probably not, but maybe could win you some games in critical situations if you need it. Packers never seem to actually do it, so I wouldn't hold your breath on that. I think it is what it is. Packers have always been a team where if your quarterback goes out, you're done. That's most teams, with rare exceptions. The Packers are 100% all in on that strategy. Let's see. Practice can't come soon enough. My X feed better be filled with J Love highlights, bro. I am right there with you, man. I'm going to be as interactive as I can possibly be. I look forward to hanging. Maybe we should go live. Should we go live during training camp just to pull up the... I think we might do that. That would be fun. There's enough going on for... It's like an hour and a half long practice. We might do that. I think the next contract would be Josh Myers. And that's the thing. There's a lot of guys who are due for a contract, and we can look at it. I'm thinking more along the lines of like the next big contract. I don't know if Josh gets a big contract, if he even gets a contract. What took so long to get the deal done was that they were too busy still celebrating Ed Policy Day. That's a good point. That is a festival and a half. Can't wait for Caleb Williams to bust, and they got to watch us squish him like bugs for you. Man, I want it so bad. Caleb's looking pretty good over there, but it would be nice if he sucked. I'm just saying. Could be close to a half century of Hall of Fame quarterback play. Meanwhile, in Chicago, is Big B allowed back at practice? He was there today. I saw a picture of him taking pic. I don't know if he's going to be bold enough. Last year, everybody. Maybe I'm just not following the right people. There were a lot of people out there taking video and everything else. Maybe the Packers went back and did some film study and banned all those people. But last year we got a lot. Actually, you know what? It might actually be that they're still doing team drills, and I haven't seen any video of it. We'll see. And by the way, if you guys see any, because there's a lot of like obscure accounts that are sharing videos, make sure you send it to me. All right, we'll get our little group together. We'll send those videos to each other. Don't share it to the universe, because then everybody finds it. The Packers find it. That guy gets kicked out, and we're screwed. Just keep it in our little circle here. Caldwell Corner says, I'll be at training camp next week. Good deal. So what were we going to do before we get to our song here? We covered the Pretty Ricky thing. Shout out to that dude. We got details to... Oh, yeah, we saw the article already confirming the report. We ran this already. So I think we're good, man. Let's see. Too Old for This says, I'll be there next week as well. Going to try to sneak my camera in. Yeah, so if you guys go... Let me know also, because like for tomorrow, so if you're going to be there tomorrow, let me know. It'd be kind of cool to be able to interact with you while we do it. So we'll have to work on that, because I think that'd be kind of fun. It's kind of a weird thing to do live, but there are enough kind of rapid fire things that I think that it could be kind of cool. So, all right, I think I've said enough. I think it's getting to be about that time. Once again, Caldwell Corner. Make sure you follow him on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram is I think what he's primarily trying to blow up right now. But big shout out to him for helping with this. And also, again, thank you to Brendax21 for the $1.99 super chat. But without further ado, here is the debut of the Jordan Love signed a contract, you're all screwed now, suck it hype video.
I have never sold my stock on a football team in an OTA faster than I'm selling Green Bay's now. So I went and looked at the Packers' schedule, and let me tell you, I came up with 6 wins.
And the Falcons are trying to make a trade for Jordan Love? Did the New Orleans Saints want Jordan Love? Was Seattle or Carolina daydreaming about Jordan Love? I don't want to hear you need to find out what you have with Jordan Love. You know what you have. He can't play.
3 of a kind, a legacy passed down from frozen tundra to a new crown. They said he couldn't, but love conquers all. Rising above, he's standing tall. Packers Nation, can you feel this? A new era dawning, pure bliss, worth the wait. Now seal the deal. Long-term commitment. That's how we feel.
Jordan Love is
Jordan
that
Love
guy.
showed that he could be. He'll be an MVP dark horse next year.
Yeah.
I think he'll be like a top 7 MVP favorite.
Love's in the air. Green Bay's atmosphere. From Favre to Rodgers. Now it's his year. They doubted his heart, but he persevered. A perfect 10. Our future's clear. Doubters silence. Haters in awe. This QB's got the highest ceiling you ever saw. 3 generations of greatness. Now it's his time to shine. Pack's future secured. Love on the firing line. From frozen tundra to the heat of fame. Jordan Love. Remember the name.